Hey there, everyone. I want to take a few minutes and describe my perspective on democracy and how it works in society. Of course, democracy is the idea that the way society is structured should be determined by a vote, whatever the people want. And that can be by a number of ways. It can be a majority, a supermajority, the most popular perspective. It depends on a lot of things. But I have some criticisms of the way that democracy works in society. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not advocating for the de-establishment of democracy in society, and I do think it's better than most other modes of governance, such as dictatorships or fascist theocracies. I just don't think it's a perfect system, and I think it makes sense to apply skepticism to all aspects of life so that we can actually evaluate the way our life works and determine what's good and what's not good. That being said, I have three major criticisms of the way that democracy works in society. The first criticism is people aren't very well educated. They don't often know what they're voting for. And I'm not saying that people are stupid. What I'm saying is people are uneducated on many issues they vote for. This is because a lot of people are single issue voters, or maybe they only care about two or three issues. I've encountered many of these people. They have one or two issues they're very passionate about. They're very well read on it. They know a lot about it. You can sit down with them and have an actual discussion, and maybe both of you can walk away a little bit smarter from it. But the fact is, you can't really just vote for one issue in America. You have to vote for a set of issues, often because of a politician or a political party. I think this comes from our two-party mentality, the idea that you have to group ideas together. The idea that you can't be in support of gay marriage and abortion rights and then also be opposed to gun laws and stricter minimum wage laws. That's just not something that happens. So people support ideas that they hardly know anything about. I mean, let's say that when you vote for a party or a candidate, there are 10 issues that your vote is representing. Now, let's say that you're a single party issue voter. Let's say that everyone who votes is, in fact. Every single issue that is voted on, all 10 of them, are now not voted on by the majority of people who actually know what they're talking about. They're voted by people who are uneducated on the issue, or probably don't even care. Maybe you just care about getting gay marriage in society, for example, and you know nothing about the way the economy works. You don't care what your vote contributes towards. I view that as a very unhealthy way to view society. A second issue that I have with democracy is the fact that it forces individuals to do things that they would not have done otherwise. And there are exceptions where this is good, like murder laws, rape laws, slavery laws, destruction of private property laws. But the majority of laws in society don't work like this. There are things like when you're driving, buckle your seatbelt, or we'll give you a ticket, or don't smoke a joint, or we'll throw you in a federal prison. Things like that, and it doesn't really make sense to force them on society. A big example of this is with the whole government NSA thing. They're looking at our emails or whatever's going on. I don't know all of the specifics, but I do know it's a breachment of Fourth Amendment rights. And President Obama, when asked about this, said you cannot, in a society, have 100% liberty and 100% security. Now, I agree with the president on this. It's true you can't have both, but I disagree with the action that we've taken. The president has made this decision for us. We have to give up liberty for security. What if I want liberty? What if I want freedom in my life? What if that's what I want? I'm forced to give up my liberty so that I can have this security. Not to mention the fact I have to trust that what the government is giving me is truly security and not them just watching me and controlling my actions or my life. Trying to, I don't know, do whatever they can. There's so many things that could happen. Why should I be entrusting my autonomy to them? This is a major issue, and the fact is I have no say on this because the majority of people disagree with me on this. The majority of people are like, yeah, I'm scared. Let's pass these laws. I say no, but it doesn't matter. I have to go along with the system, and I view that as wrong. The third major issue I have is that when people vote for something, it's not necessarily for the interest of society. It may be for their personal benefit. As a harmless example, let's take Italians. And let's say that in America, Italians are known for having great bakeries. And that's a huge part of the economy of local areas. Now, because of the hard economy, the majority of Italians are having a very hard time maintaining their bakeries. So they appeal to the government saying, hey, can we get subsidies in order to keep our businesses afloat? Now, the fact is you voted for this politician who has policies about how subsidies work. So you voted essentially for them to get these subsidies if they get them. But the fact is you may not agree with the fact that these subsidies are going to these individuals. Perhaps you believe that subsidies should go to other areas, like subsidized student loans, or supporting the housing market. Or maybe you're someone who believes that the free market should be taken care of the way that society allocates its goods and resources, and there shouldn't be subsidies at all. The fact is these perspectives are muted. It doesn't matter that the majority of people want a perspective. A certain number of people are contributing their vote towards a perspective because it's going to benefit them personally. That's not helping society. In fact, it's hurting society, and you ignore this possibility. The fact is, in the situation I painted, if you're an Italian, most likely you either are the owner of a bakery, you work at one, or you know someone who is one or the other. So you're going to have a huge incentive to vote that way, and that's going to curve the vote. Now let's take this and apply it to a real world situation. How about the Reddit page Atheism? Reddit.com/r/atheism, which is not taken very seriously by the rest of Reddit, simply because it used to be a page where discussion happened, and it slowly devolved to posting memes or pictures of Neil smoking DeGrasse Tyson, saying a trippy quote while placed on a starry cosmic background. There's very little intellectual discussion that goes on that page anymore, and that's why most people avoid it. Recently, there was a change in the way moderation works, and they're trying to revamp the page in an attempt to capture what it was supposed to be several years ago. And a number of people are upset about this. They're proposing that democracy be placed so that we can vote on how the page is run. And the majority of people say we want the page with its memes and its quotes because that's suppression of freedom of speech to not do otherwise. Let's apply the three things I listed. First off, people not being uneducated. The fun fact is, none of these image posts are actually banned. You just have to submit them a different way so that you don't get link karma. Link karma is the points that you get for participating in Reddit. It's really meaningless, but a lot of people obsess over it anyway. And that's all you really lose. So it's not suppressing your freedom of speech, not to mention the fact that it's not saying you can't say a personal perspective. You just have to say it a different way, rather than these stupid memes that don't lead to discussion. It leads to circle jerking discussion. People who have opinions and they just parrot them back at each other. It's preventing freedom of speech, I would argue. It's making it so that only one perspective is being voiced. The second opinion, the idea that you are being forced to do something that you do not believe is right. Let's say that you're one of the founding members or one of the original members of this page. You worked very hard to get it to where it was a great place to have open discussions about whatever topic you want, mainly religion. Now, as the page got more popular, more people flooded in, and they started to deteriorate the quality of this page. Now, if the majority of people vote and say, we want it this way, why is their perspective more valuable than yours? If 70% of people want it to change back to the way it was and 30% of people like the new rules, why is the opinion of the 70% of people more valuable than the 30% of people? Maybe the hard work they put into establishing the page as what it is being taken advantage of. I think that's something that needs to be addressed. That is not under normal circumstances. And the third point is when someone votes to change the rules back to what they were, you're assuming that they have the best interest of the subreddit in mind. The fact is a lot of them don't. One new change to the rules is you can't submit blog spam. Blog spam basically means you take one of these popular images that the subreddit loves so much and you post them on your blog. Oftentimes these blogs are slow, they're crappy, they look weird, they're not appealing at all, but the image still has it on there. So if you submit this link, people upvote it, it goes to the top, and they get hundreds of thousands of views on their page. Now they look more reputable, they're more likely to turn up in search engine results, such as Google, Yahoo, and Bing, and it makes them look better. They're abusing the system. A lot of these people who do this are probably voting in favor of supporting the old rules, but that doesn't mean they believe it's the best system to make the subreddit flourish. They just want to do what is personally beneficial to them, what will make them better off, even if it makes everyone in the world worse off, or everyone in the subreddit, I suppose, worse off. For me, it makes the most sense to say that the people who run the subreddit should be able to do whatever they want with the subreddit. If they want to change the rules, they should be able to. And then you as an individual should have the freedom to support whatever subreddit you want. The fact is, most major subreddits list other subreddits on its side that you can visit if you want to explore new communities and try new ways of functioning on Reddit. It's like on YouTube. If you go to my channel, youtube.com/foreveraloneprick, there are channels listed on the side, and those are channels that I like for various reasons. If you ever get bored of me, go there, look what I've recommended, and maybe you'll like what you see. You can try that. And you can try that with Reddit as well. If you don't like the way your subreddit is going, find a different one that is more appropriate to you. It makes more sense to do that rather than forcing things to change based on the whim of the community. Find something that you like and stick with it, rather than taking something that other people think is the best way and trying to force that change upon others. That's my perspective anyway. If you have any questions or criticisms, please leave them below in comments. I love exploring and expanding my ideas, and I love being exposed to new ideas and having the discussion. But that's about all I have to say, so thank you.